Instead of my regular video today, I thought I would do one where I'm going to give a warning and some updates on the exhumation of Pauline Pusser. First, the warning. People are giving misleading information out there. I think you're going to see a flood of social media videos that come out by people who believe that the state line or the Dixie Mafia was responsible for Pauline's death. That's what this is all about. A lot of these people are still riding the same old tired horse that they rode back when they started making videos before they walked away from this subject. I've been here forever, and so I would caution you to be careful about what you watch, what you believe, and the key to that is just following the truth. Now, I'm going to be working without a script today, but I did bring some notes. I wanted to cover a few key points here, and if you'll follow with me on this update, Pauline was exhumed last Thursday, February 8th. The TBI indicated that there was a tip that led to the exhumation. Now, they did so with the family's permission, I understand, and I have been inundated the last few days with calls from the media, calls from television, newspapers, so on, wanting to know what I think about all this and what the TBI knows. I'll tell you right up front, while I share information with the TBI whenever I get something that's worthwhile, they do not share information with me. They have protocols and laws in line that prevent them from sharing information. But I would like to see this case closed. And so I have used my Facebook page, as most of you know, Buford Pusser, The Other Story. All of these things I go by the same name. My book that I have on Amazon is Buford Pusser, The Other Story. My Facebook page is Buford Pusser, The Other Story. And of course, this YouTube channel is Buford Pusser, The Other Story. So I've tried using those as more or less like a fishing hole. I'll tell people that I need leads, I'm looking for leads, and that I'm turning it over to the TBI, and a lot of you people have responded to that. You've sent information in that they did not have previously. I know that I've shared quite a lot with them, but I guarantee you what they have shared with me is, just like everybody else. Of course, I speculate on what they might know at this point based upon based upon the information that I've given them. And, when people call me and say, yep, I got a call, or they came by and I was interviewed by them. So, my thoughts are that, all this led to an autopsy. And the purpose of that is, it's multi things happen in an autopsy. They're going to be looking for trajectories. They're going to be looking for the number of times that Pauline was shot. They're going to be looking for any other possible injuries that she may have had. They could be looking for DNA under her fingernails. 1967, DNA was not a thing. It is now. They might look to see if, for instance, she had any DNA from Buford under her fingernails. Like she was trying to defend herself. There are so many things that they might look for in an autopsy that leads back to all of this. Now, I also think that in this investigation, they're looking at a number of other things. I know they are because I gave them a lot of information, and people that shared that with me before I forwarded it to them have since told me that, yeah, I was contacted. So, for instance, I think that they're going to be looking at several things. And I might point out that the reason why people have called me is I have used my Facebook page as a fishing hole. I've asked people to give me information. My phone number is right there. A lot of people have called me, including one that said he thought he had a gun that killed Pauline Pusser. Of course, I've over the years had lots of those, but this one seemed very credible to me. He had a backstory that fit the gun. I was so convinced I drove 450 miles over there to see this gun, get the serial number, everything, all the information from the firearm that I could. And sure enough, Buford owned some of these guns. They were stolen from the Air Force, and managed to trace all that information down. And so they did go over, they did pick up the gun, they have it for testing. I do know that. Beyond that, I have no clue what's going on. I do believe the information about the gun is probably what re-energized the investigation of Pauline's death. But other things they might be looking for instance, would be they're probably looking into their Buford and Pauline's marital issues. They were having problems right before the ambush. Buford was having affairs. I believe Pauline may have had one. But their marriage was falling apart. There was also a separation, according to her best friend, Levon Plunk. And, I think they'll also look into that. I sent them a recording I made when I interviewed Levon before she died. I also think that they would be looking into several things. For instance, just hours before the ambush, Pauline had tracked Buford down to the Old Hickory Grill. They had a confrontation in the parking lot with Pauline threatening to report his corruption. All this was overheard by two people, and one of them has even included it in a book about what she heard. And that being that whenever she threatened to report his corruption to the TBI, Buford told her that if she did, she wouldn't live to see the sun come up. She didn't. Also, they'd be looking into other things such as, I also gave them a heads up on two boys, Dennis Hathcock and Johnny Harrison, reporting that they had seen Buford in a gun exchange in Eastview just hours before the ambush. A car from Oklahoma, had Oklahoma tags. Individual was, doing a gun exchange with Buford, and the guns ended up in the trunk of his car. Of course, hours later, Pauline is dead. If that has anything to do with it, I don't know. I find it kind of suspicious. Also there were the calls that occurred that night. People calling into the sheriff's office and saying there's a disturbance down here at Hollis Jordan's place on Highway 45. You need to get down here. Someone's going to get killed. Carl Pusser, Buford's father, ignored those calls, saying he didn't call Buford because he felt like his son needed some rest. Finally, this party called Buford at home and told him the same thing, and Buford responded to the call. The odd thing about this is that Buford said that Pauline insisted on going with him. And of course, you would have a lot of Buford's cronies say that, yeah, she often went with him on calls. Of course, Chief Deputy Jim Moffitt would disagree with that, saying he always went on those calls, that Pauline didn't like riding with Buford anywhere, but that there was only 2 times he could think of when he didn't go on those night calls with Buford, and both times he got shot. Buford got shot. That seems kind of strange that the only 2 times that Moffitt didn't go with him, he gets shot, there's no witnesses, so on. One of those times being during the ambush where Pauline was killed. There's so many other things that crossed my mind about all this, like the route that Buford took that morning. Not only the story that Pauline went with him, but the route that he took, using a system of convoluted back roads, unimproved, many of them, all the way down to New Hope Road to go to Highway 45, where he would turn north and go about a mile to get to Hollis Jordan's place. When the faster route would have obviously been get on Highway 64, which was right there near his home, take it to Selmer, turn left, drive down to Hollis Jordan's place right there on 65. It would have been a much faster route. Been a couple of miles longer, but it would have been a much faster route because it was paved highway. And Buford liked to drive fast. He couldn't drive that fast on those backcountry roads. So that always made me a little suspicious. Another thing that caught me was how the ambush party knew that he was going to take that route. Now, if I had been that ambush party, I would have been waiting on somewhere on 64 or 45, or maybe even there at Hollis Jordan, so when he drove up, I could get rid of him and just go on. But they got in this car chase that makes no sense. It's 7/10 of a mile from the church where Buford said they were hiding, and they had to pull out from behind that church, go after Buford, and catch him by the time that he got to that bridge. Now, only 7/10 of a mile. Well, you know, Buford always drove fast. They had just resurfaced that road. So I tried doing a reconstruction of it. I did it in broad daylight, about 10:30 in the morning. There were, the road, when Buford went down it, had just been resurfaced. But this happened for him at 4:45 in the morning. And Buford said they chased him down without the use of their headlights on a road that's kind of curvy. So I seriously doubt that there was any way that they could have caught up with him. In broad daylight, when the party that was chasing me down had all of the advantages of being able to see with the sunlight, they were still about 250 yards behind me by the time that I reached that bridge. So there's no way that I can see that they caught up with Buford. Now, Buford said that Pauline was hit by one of 2 rounds that were fired at that bridge. Said he hit the gas, took off. She leaned over on him, was kind of gurgling, gasping for air, which indicates that she was still alive. Now, one thing I question is if she's shot in the head like he claimed, said that she leaned over on him, kind of grabbed his arm, and that she was so much on him that he couldn't reach down to get a sidearm. So he never fired a shot, unlike what they showed in the movies. So he drives 2.1 miles down the road, pulls over, said he stopped to check on Pauline. He thought he'd outrun this car, his pursuers, in that 2.1 miles. Said he got near Yancey Davis Road where it intersects with Old New Hope Road. Started to get out of the car. Had 1 foot inside the car, 1 foot outside the car when he saw the vehicle coming up. He said they pulled up right alongside of him, stopped, gun came out the passenger's front seat window, and started firing again. At some point during all this, he claimed that he reached out and grabbed the barrel of the rifle, held on to it, while they fired somewhere between 12 and 15 more times. Buford was hit in the chin. Pauline took a second round to the head. Now, what bothers me about this is that there was blood spatter all over the hood of the car, the bumper, the outside of the windshield, but yet Buford said that they never got out of the car. So how did all the blood spatter get it there? And blood spatter tails. And for instance, a blood droplet will hit us. Like if you cut yourself shaving, it's going to fall down, it'll hit the floor, and it'll leave a certain pattern. Blood spatter is different in that when somebody is shot, there's usually a spray that goes out, and when it hits a solid surface, especially one that is flat, it will tell in the direction the projectile was heading. So just from that, I would think that somebody was standing in front of that vehicle when they were shot. And Buford claimed that they were on the inside. Kind of strange. Said he went down to the state line, his chin dangling down to his chest, which It really wasn't. I've got a photo of it. But instead of turning toward Corinth, he turned toward Selmer, which was about 3 times as far away. So it's not like he was anxious to get help. I suspect that what the TBI will do after they've gone through all this, and I really think they're probably getting pretty close to the end of it, I think they'll look at all the evidence. BUFORD's not here to prosecute, but I think they will look at it and say, okay, we've gathered evidence that we didn't have back when the Tennessee Bureau of Criminal Identification investigated the case in '67. The TBI was kind of born out of that organization. The TBCI was part of the Department of Public Safety in Tennessee. There was a lot of political involvement, everything there. They didn't really have the opportunity to do things without possible political interference. Now, the TBI, since the mid-'80s or early '80s, has been a standalone agency. And they don't have the pressures that were once there on the TCBI. At any rate, I want to commend them. I think they're doing a wonderful job. They've taken the time to look into this. I think that they're finally going to get a cold case solved. And I think everybody's going to be possibly shocked and surprised when we get to the end. But at any rate, again, when you see all these people that are coming back out of the woodwork, doing videos about all this, and they're going to blur the lines, I think, between the State Line mob and the Dixie Mafia. Just look for the truth, look for the evidence, because it's there, and it's finally getting a good look by people who have no agenda. Now, people will tell you that I'm related to the Hathcocks. Untrue. I'm related to no one in this story. I just used to be in law enforcement, and I find this to be just very intriguing. So that has always been my interest in it. And I've always wondered about Pauline's death because the ambush didn't make sense to me. Started investigating it, and I've come to my own conclusions about what happened. Each of you are entitled to your own opinion. Mine goes along with what I've learned from other people who were there and lived the real story. And so just keep your ear to the ground, keep watching what's going on. If I pick up anything, I'll be back on here to let you know. But I just wanted to bring an update and let people know that I don't know any more than anyone else about what the TBI knows, what they're doing. They don't share anything with me like people think they do. I do share a lot with them, which I feel like any of us should do. If you know something, say something. But at any rate, next week I hope to be back with a regular video and installment like I've been doing over the past several weeks. And but in the meantime, I'll get off this thing for now, and hope everybody has a good day.